Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Kessel, and I am joined today by Brenda Barnes, who's going to share with us. She is a team captain with the Kent Crop Hunger Walk. Um, so, Brenda, I will kind of let you get started and just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the Crop Hunger Walk, and why you walk.
Excuse me. My name is Brenda Barnes. I'm with Kent First Christian Church in Kent, Washington. And our church started doing the walk, I think 30 something years ago, 35 years ago, I think. But personally, myself and my family have been participating in our Kent Crop Hunger Walk for like 20 years. And we walk like everybody just to help stop hunger in our own community and around the world.
That's awesome. So tell me about your walk a little bit more. I know I mentioned it's the Kent Crop Hunger Walk, and you mentioned the team that you're with as well. But I know that your team has been in the cream of the crop, which is, some of our top teams, and more about some team successes as well.
Our church and our community have walked together. We have our church and several churches and some other little groups that actually walk together. We've almost always been in cream of crop or in the top 100, both our church as a whole and also Dave and Nancy Turner. There's probably many people who have heard their name. Dave is no longer with us, but they're the biggest part of that. So like in the last few years, Nancy's actually gotten the little cream of the crop video too, and I've showed it to her because she isn't as good on the computer as her husband was. So it's really fun when we get those little things, like cream of crop little videos. It's fun. I love it. Makes me smile. They started the walk here in Kent, actually, way back when it started. It's because Dave and Nancy got started and got our church started into it and everything else. So our 25th annual walk, we actually did in Dave's name, in his honor, because he had recently passed away and it was our 25th and we had to do something. So it was the Dave Turner Kent Crop Hunger Walk that year. Our goal as a community in our walk is always, we have a goal of like $25,000. Anything we do over that is great because we have done better than that, but we don't want to push ourselves and go, oh darn, we didn't make it. So we set a lower goal to meet it. Now, even during pandemic, we surprised ourselves with what we did. It wasn't always as great as we have, but it still was surprising how much we actually were able to do without walking and everybody just doing some individual walking somewhere. So that's kind of what we're doing. I started doing it with the grade, but then I think about 10 years ago, I started, maybe even longer, I started being team captain, and I just kind of took on, especially with Dave and Nancy were, okay, somebody else just start doing this, and so I'm like, okay, I'm here. So I've been doing it. I'm team captain for our church and have been for a long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is something that you wish that you knew when you started as a team captain that you now know that you would share with other people?
Everything I know about this, I learned from Dave and Nancy and everybody else doing it for a while. So I really have nothing except I think we all learned how to punt basically when the pandemic hit, because there's no training to be prepared for that. None of us knew what to do or what to expect. We just kind of did it. We came up with a plan and we did that plan. I sat at our church in the parking lot. We had a few people come up and walk around our parking lot. I sat there letting everybody know I'm there with any stuff we had. We had the signs out. They went out, walked around the parking lot, because we're on that main street, they were able to walk on that sidewalk and stuff, promoting as much as we could. And I just think we all learned how to do whatever we need to do in any given situation. We still made it happen. We actually still made some pretty good money, not as much as usual, but we came pretty close, surprisingly.
That's awesome. So learned how to be adaptive.
pretty much, pretty quickly.
Yeah, like you said, I think we all learned that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Wonderful. So what are your go-to resources and why those resources?
Oh, all of the resources on the website are amazing. Everybody should look at them and use them. We use the bulletin inserts regularly. I print out the materials for the children. We use those. We use the videos in service. It helps the pastor or the elder to be able to talk about it and help promote it. So everything that's on that website is amazing. And when it comes to like doing like we do after the walk, we have like food or snacks, or even along the walk, we have like water, apple slices, that kind of thing along the walk. First aid supplies, we have a golf cart that goes around and does stuff, or if someone can't make the whole walk, they're able to go on the trail and bring them back. And those are resources that we reach out to the community for the apples and the hot dogs that we serve, the buns, all that kind of stuff is from the community. It's from like Costco is donated, and people in the community itself have donated. The golf cart usually comes from somebody in the community, in one of the churches. They may have had one or know how to get one, and so we've never had to really pay for all that stuff because someone donates it, and that's just it. Reach out for those resources. They're out there. You just have to do the work to get them.
Yeah, that's great advice. What are your best tips for team building, recruitment, and fundraising?
That was the tough question. I came back to that one. It's the same thing. Basically, it's really pretty simple. Just you need to encourage everyone to get involved that you can, whether it be your group, your community, your church, family, friends, everyone, no matter the age or your physical ability. All efforts are encouraged, whether it be just donating, walking, or both, and also gathering donations from other people. You don't have to be walking to gather donations. So reach out to your work, your businesses. Heck, you go out to the restaurant, eat, the owner, say, hey, this is what's happening. And we actually have a thing that we've done where there's certain restaurants that work with us where it's set up on that, like usually like a Wednesday or something we do it for everyone the same day. And everyone who goes to eat in there and mentions the crop walk, all the proceeds go to, from that, everybody going and doing that goes to the crop walk, that goes to our crop walk, goes back into our community. So just hit those places up because they're willing to help.
Yeah. So sounds like you have a really incredibly supportive community of your walk.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how do you promote online fundraising specifically with your group?
Online fundraising makes it even easier actually to get donations than the old-fashioned way of going door to door. Nobody really wants to do that anymore. And some people just don't have what it takes to physically, you're afraid to physically talk to people. So online fundraising makes it easier to do that without having to be face to face. It reaches out to friends and family everywhere, not just right here in our own backyard, but everywhere. I have family in Eastern Washington and Idaho, and all over the place. So it's a way to reach out to everyone. Also for businesses, it's easier to get donations a lot of times from businesses or your boss at work, or even get matching donations. If you can get your company on board, say, hey, this is what's happening, this person's doing that, and for everything you guys donate, we'll match it. There's just so many resources, and you get that link and you just share. Put that link out there.
Yeah.
Because the next one is like, on social media. Use social media like crazy. So
yeah, that's wonderful. Do you have any like specific success stories on encouraging a team member in their fundraising?
Kids don't always want to do this kind of stuff, especially teens. They have their own little world. When my kids, who are now 32 and 34, when our church youth group, they always had things they wanted to do and the fun things. Well, they all did the crop walk. We got them encouraged to do it as a group. They all came together. They held their sides. They got crazy. They had fun all along the walk through downtown Kent, which in that case it was walking through Kent Station, which is like our little shopping hub, the train, the buses, everything is through there. And they were getting donations along the walk from total strangers because they go, hey, what are you doing? What's this about? And they talked about it and they got money from people along the way. So they come back with these money going here, throwing money at me at the table. So, just encourage. And, if there's someone you're not sure is going to, but I mean, the youth are really amazing. Don't be afraid to talk to the kids.
Yeah. My
So.
predecessor always said that we're simply responsible for the ask and not the answer.
Yeah.
Which I think you're speaking a lot to that, just to encourage people to get involved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the worst people are going to do but say no? You don't
Yeah.
know anything unless you try.
That's true.
So.
Do you promote on social media? And if so, how often, or any tips there?
We do. We actually have a Kent Crop Walk Facebook page. So we do that and share it everywhere. I promote on my personal page, in my community groups that I'm a part of. There's actually, like, my grandsons in the co-op preschool. If you got groups like that, encourage them to maybe join, or, because like with the co-op preschool, it not only helps the crop walk and the community, which is something that we're encouraging. We're teaching those little ones to do, like doing food drives and stuff like that. But it also helps promote the preschool itself. So it's a two-way thing. It's promoting something for the world, the community, to help others, but it's also helping to promote that group. So, like, because it's a nonprofit. And so if you have groups like that, reach out to them, say, hey, and I mean, in our path and where we go, the kids can even decorate their little bikes and ride, families can ride together and do fun stuff like that.
That's awesome. What advice or words of wisdom do you have to other team captains?
That was one that took me a little bit longer. Do your best to promote the importance of what we're doing and why. This isn't just something to do. It's an important ministry for everyone. Encourage families to join, to grow the ministry within the youth. It's, the youth are our future. And so don't just talk to adults, talk to the kids, talk to the families, talk to the parents, get everyone involved together. We have several that have families that their kids have grown up from babies that are now in college that have been doing this crop walk. And pictures from past of them, little baby Sarah in a stroller, and she's going to college next year. So it's
That's
just
wonderful.
Encourage everyone that you can. Promote and whatever makes you most comfortable, and team up. If you're someone who doesn't speak as well as someone, but someone who does, work together as a team and make it happen.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time to share some of your wisdom and advice that sounds like was passed along to you and you're able to pass along to others now.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us today.